The following champion versus champion contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the WWE Women's United States Championship.
Alright everyone, and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Christina, aka That Writer, and today we are gathered here to watch more MyGM. We had a lot of yapping, to say the least, in the last episode, but I think with good reason. We had a lot of ground to cover. We had two big matches. We covered weeks 22 and 23. Well, I mean 23 was already in there. We had a power-up used against us, so we're stuck in the high school gym again, so that's exciting. We yapped about Ticketmaster, travel. We really went off on Ticketmaster, just ticket prices in general. Yeah, that was kind of the bulk of it. And also trying to figure out, like, you know, plotting for where WWE's going to head to for Survivor Series of 2026. And also into 2027 and beyond a little bit, just getting some ideas tossed out into the wilderness. So we yapped a lot, and I know the last episode was a lot, so I don't know when all these videos are going to be uploaded. But there was a lot of yapping in that last episode. There was a lot. But this episode, we're in the last go-home show of Season 1. Again, we have two matches on our hands here in this episode. We got Natalya defending the Women's U.S. Championship against Niven. And then we got Dirty Dominik Mysterio defending his United States Championship against World Champion CM Punk. Well, technically WWE Champion CM Punk. So that is all the thing that is all happening in this episode. So as per usual, grab your snacks, grab your choice of beverage, get comfy and cozy, and let's get to it, y'all. It is finally fall here. I'm so excited. Like actual fall. Like, I think today when I'm recording this on October 9th, it literally only got to, I think... Oh, yeah, no, it only got to like 60... Okay, well, it says it got to 68 degrees, but I don't believe that. It's definitely a lot cooler than that, but like we're in the 70s and upper 60s for the foreseeable future, and that makes me a very happy camper. So there is that.
Introducing the challenger from Ayrshire, Scotland, one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, Piper Niven. Then her opponent from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, the WWE Women's United States Champion, Natalya.
Here we go. Let's see what happens here. Here we go. We got Natalya defending against Niven here tonight. I legit before I went back to film the previous episode, I had to legitimately go on my phone and be like, oh crap, what was the match card? Because I wiped it out. I'm like, that sounds about right. But this has been good. I've been getting back into a gaming groove again in terms of filming stuff, so I'm very excited about that. I'm gonna have so many videos to edit because at the time recording this, I still haven't updated, or rather edited and uploaded my Smackdown vlog. So maybe that's what I'll do on October 10th. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be up by that point or somewhere in there. So that's a whole thing. That is a whole thing. I hope everyone's enjoying the episode. I know we're only a couple minutes into it, but that is A-okay. And yeah, we were really yapping a lot the last episode. And we just had so much ground to get caught up on, and yeah, I mean, obviously I was recording the Christina Bennett Universe Mode series last night on the 8th. And we were just really into the game and everything, and just it was a little bit of a mess, but we were kind of explaining some of the lore and updates and all that good stuff. But Yeah. Trying to think here. Because, like, I would like to get at least one more season knocked out of MyGM. I mean, at the rate things are going at, we probably will get another season knocked out by the time that 2K26 rolls around. But yeah, like I've been saying on the other videos, I've been trying to play around with the shorts content just a scotch, just a little bit. Let me know if that's like if you like that kind of content. I'm really curious. It's been kind of helping my channel out a little bit for what it's looking like in terms of just getting more exposure and stuff. And I think that's pretty healthy. I think that's not too bad. So that's been cool to see. Like, obviously, long form is our bread and butter, but it is kind of cool to see everything, but yeah. Let me see here. I think in terms of getting overall views, it certainly helps. But yeah, I've been trying to play around with different things on YouTube. I've been, like, working on just cleaning up the playlist, you know, making sure that all the playlist titles are seamless and that we have descriptions in there. Unlisting videos as we need to, just to kind of clean things up a little bit and make it clear that this is a primarily like wrestling gaming channel, although we're not getting rid of all the older content. Like, there's a time and place for everything, and like some of my most popular videos are still some of those early videos like with The Sims and stuff like that, which is hilarious to me because I haven't played The Sims in like 2 years. I'm not even joking. I just didn't like the direction of it or anything like that, with all the kits and everything, and just, again, microtransactions are just kind of the worst. I mean, the game's like 11 years old, and there's like 100 pieces of DLC. Like, imagine buying that over time, and I'm like, oh my lord, we probably spent way too much on that game. That's why I never feel bad about getting this game once a year, because it's like, okay, that's the most I'm going to be paying for. Now, I know they added those, like, random little, like, extra DLC bits and stuff like that. I'm not going to lose sleep over getting one or two things, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to, like, get a pack for the sake of having every single pack for a WWE game, right? So that's how I see it, at least, because you know some of that stuff's probably going to be next year's game. But, yeah, we also chit-chatted in the other video about my screen-free hobbies, but there we go, Piper and Natalya, let's go! Got a bit of a hockey fight mode. The hockey's back, by the way, and I'm very excited about that. Look at Natalya, she's like crushing it in this episode. Look at this. Natalya, I think, has held on to this title almost this entire time. I think maybe Asuka too, so I mean, we've got some pretty viable candidates to keep for next season, so we'll have to see what happens, but Natalya now going in for the sharpshooter. But yeah, if you have any screen-free hobbies or things that you do that's just not involving screens, let me know. I've been really into doing like jigsaw puzzles, and I got a puzzle board, so I'm very excited about that. I already had like a puzzle like on standby that just wouldn't fit on my table, so I have 2 puzzles that I'll be working on this month, which I'm really excited about.
States Champion Natalya.
I'll have to do like an end of the year recap of all the puzzles that I've put together, and it's not been like, it hasn't been like a ton, but it's been like a decent amount so far. I typically, because like of course you have to balance, you know, the real life stuff and work and, you know, filming content, editing content, keeping yourself sane and getting fresh air and stuff like that. Like, I typically do, depending on how many pieces there are, I try to do maybe about like 2 puzzles a month, and I think that's a pretty healthy pace. But Natalya picks up the win. We had a very swift win from Natalya there, but in the next match, we'll have to see what happens. Who walks out with the United States Championship? Will CM Punk walk out as a double champion, or will Dom retain the title? But we're going to have to find out up next.
The following champion versus champion contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the WWE United States Championship.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. The U.S. title is on the line. I need to get my sparkling water. There we go. Okay, it's like really dark. I mean, you can't really see, like, who's coming out first necessarily, but there we go. We got CM Punk coming out here first. But, yeah, like I was saying, I've been getting really into jigsaw puzzles, and my coffee table can hold, like, a lot of the smaller puzzles, like, think 500-piece puzzles and stuff like that. And I like a good 500-piece puzzle. But a lot of the 1,000-piece puzzles, it was like, okay, I can't put this on my coffee table necessarily. There were a handful of Lego ones that I was able to do, and those were pretty fun. I did like this one really cool one that was like butterflies and balloons. I think that's what it was called, and it was really cool. Again, if you follow me on either Instagram or X, that's where I'll post the puzzle updates. I have a cool Halloween one that's like 500 pieces that'll be really fun to put together. And then, of course, I've had this puzzle on standby for some time, but it wouldn't fit on my coffee table. So I had to get a puzzle board, and so I kind of just fit it into my little budget for this month, and I was like, oh, this is actually not too bad. I did a lot of research on it, and I only needed like a few extra inches of like space on my coffee table, and what's kind of nice is that like I can put the board itself like in my room, and then I can kind of put the stand, because it's like an easel kind of thing. So I can put the board somewhere in my living room or, somewhere else in my apartment if I want to keep it out of the way. But, like, it literally kind of gives off an energy that, like, an artist, like, lives here, and it's literally just me putting together puzzles on my couch. So it's kind of hilarious, to be honest. But, like, puzzles are just very chill. I don't know how else to word it. Like, there's something about, like, like, I don't know how many... first of all, I want some insight from the audience. I need some insight from y'all. Do you prefer long-form content? And, like, if so, what kind of long-form content are you into? Do you listen to podcasts? Do you listen to, like, the 15, 20-minute videos? Or, like, what's, like, your preferred kind of style? For me, I like a lot of deep dive type of, like, videos that are, like, an hour each or something like that. I don't really do a ton of podcasts, but, like, I might listen to clips here and there, and that's about it. But for the most part, like, give me a good deep dive on, like, just a random topic on the internet or a random problematic influencer on social media for, like, an hour or two. Like, one of those kinds of crazy deep dives. But, yeah, I like a lot of just social media, internet kind of commentary. One sort of specific niche that I've always watched over the years was, like, the anti-MLM content. Or like pyramid scheme type content, like that sort of stuff. And that's been wild to follow over the years, but yeah, that's kind of why I'm a little bit passionate about like just, getting good value and, just everything. That's partially why I get on Logan Paul's butt so much, but we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there. That's why I get on social media's butt for everything. But there it is, kids. The United States Championship is on the line. Let's go.
Introducing the challenger from Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 218 pounds, the undisputed WWE champion.
There we go.
And his opponent from San Diego, California, weighing in at 200 pounds, the WWE United States Champion, Dirty Dominik Mysterio.
But yeah, I know we were just yapping about puzzles and stuff, so that kind of happened. Now, there's like certain brands where like I won't be able to put them on the puzzle board, but for the bulk of the puzzles that I want to work on, like, it'll do, right? But dude, puzzle boards and puzzle tables are like a thing, and they're expensive. I'm like, I understand if you're like really serious about this, but I just need something that can fit on my coffee table so I can put together like 1,000-piece puzzles. That was literally it. But, like, you would think it would take up all this room, and it's like, no, I could put this in my closet, I could put this, like, somewhere in my living room, like, I can kind of, it kind of just blends in with the rest of my apartment, which is kind of nice, right? Now, obviously, over time, like, that could change, but I have like a whole list of puzzles that I was going through, and I've been kind of having a little puzzle list and stuff, so that way if something's on sale, I can kind of snatch it up. Or if I just have the time, I kind of just go, usually each month I kind of have a feel for which weeks are like busy, which weeks aren't. This week is more video heavy, busy, so for me, I'm like, okay, well last week was busy because we had like, oh my god, it felt like we had like everything happening last weekend, but at the same time we didn't. But like last weekend, it was primarily like going to Smackdown, and I feel like we had like way more that happened last weekend, but I don't think we did, but I could be totally wrong. I think it was just out too much. I think it was outside too much last weekend, but I don't see that as like a bad problem, to be honest. Yeah, we had like a lot going on. Okay, I think the dates are like incorrect for some of this, but okay. Okay, well maybe, no, I created new clips. That was what was happening. I'm like, why are my clips all weird? Why are my dates off? Oh yeah, no, that's when I went and got coffee all afternoon. That's right. I was outside enjoying the weather too much last weekend, which is not a bad problem to have. But then I made enchiladas, that's right, okay. I know priorities, right? I made a pot of chili, and I'm very cool. Technically, it's chili mac. Also, let me know if you make chili where you're from, and what style of chili, right? Like, is it more of a traditional style of chili, where it's like very chunky and stuff, like lots of beans and like, you know, the meat and stuff like that? Like, how do you do chili where you're part of it? We have Cincinnati style chili here, which is a little bit of a like regional kind of delicacy, if you will, because we also have local chili parlors and stuff like that. That might even be the move this weekend. I don't know. But sometimes I like to do like chili mac. So like I just make some macaroni like elbows, and then just the chili kind of mixed in there and stuff. I feel like that's probably a Midwestern thing, but I don't know. But basically, like most places, they do kind of more like a chunky chili. Like when I grew up in Northern Ohio, it was chunky chili. Then you get to Cincinnati, and it's like Cincinnati chili. Like it's an entirely different entity in and of itself. Yeah, so overall, I've just been enjoying the outdoors a little bit, just being outside now that it's not like 1,000 degrees out. So that's what I've been up to anyway. And again, like, I'm recording this on the 9th, and I'll probably be out and about in the wilderness, like, for the next couple days of the weekend and everything coming up. Even on, like, Saturday on the 11th, when it's, like, Crown Jewel that morning, I'm like, that's fine. I can record in the morning and then grab a coffee in the afternoon. Even if it's, like, a little bit later in the afternoon, I'm okay with it. Like, it is fall, people. It is actual fall. We're into the 40s at night, which is great. Oh, huge splash right there. Dom is just, like, completely demolishing CM Punk here. Oh, and a kick out from Punk. But yeah, on the day that I'm recording this, which is Thursday, October 9th, again, we got to, like, 68 degrees, which I'm pretty sure we were at 66 for a high temperature earlier. But, like, the low is 39 degrees. Like, that hasn't happened in, like, a minute. And just, oh, it's great. Lovely. But, yeah, I have, like, different little lists that I have, and I just kind of go through it. But I have, like, a couple different puzzle wish lists or whatever. One is, like, for... Okay, let me see here. I'm like, is it going to be a nice list? But, like, one's for holidays, right? I think that one makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so I have one playlist that's, like, for the holidays and stuff. I have another wish list for, like, under 1,000-piece puzzles, which isn't too many. A lot of them that are on the wish list are 1,000 pieces at this point, now that I can do 1,000-piece puzzles. I have another wish list for 1,000-piece puzzles, so, like, the bulk of that, right? But then I have another wish list for, like, future ones, which are, like, for bigger puzzles, like, I think 1,500 or more. Or it's from, like, the one brand that, like, just was not fitting on my board entirely. And that was this brand called, like, White Mountain Puzzles. It was, like, a few inches, like, too wide for my board because the pieces are big. But, yeah, so those are my puzzle playlist, my puzzle
Here is
wish
your winner,
list.
and
And we just kind of work our way through the
WWE
wish list, so that way it's like, cool, awesome, I got puzzles to pick from that I actually want to work on. And you can get, like, your puzzles at, like, thrift stores and stuff like that, too. So, like, again, as long as you have, like, some kind of a table to work on, like, you should be able to at least do even, like, 500-piece puzzles are fun. You can, there is, like, I like doing a 500-piece puzzle on a weekend because it's kind of like the perfect weekend puzzle type thing, right? Because, like, think about it. You get, like, a nice, quick little puzzle to work on, get your coffee in the morning. It's like a morning puzzle, or, like, you can work on some of it, like, on a Saturday night and finish it up Sunday morning. That's what I tend to do. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm yapping too much about my other hobby at this point, which is puzzling. I still do some coloring from time to time, but puzzles, I don't know, there's something satisfying about putting together a puzzle. I don't know. Let me know what your little, if you have, like, a hobby or just something that you enjoy doing, let me know what that is in the comments down below. I'd love to hear, like, what you all like to do with, like, some spare time that you might have, or just, like, what you just enjoy doing. All right, here we go. Oh! Even with all the stuff going on, even with, like, having to work around all those people that we didn't have on the show this week, we still came out ahead. Look at that. Okay, well, we completed a rivalry, which was great, and now we have Theory and Parker. They've got a feud, which makes sense. Natalya and Piper, they've got a feud. We got to level 2 over here. AJ and LA, they've got a feud over here bubbling up. And then Stephanie and Roxanne, their feud's continuing over there. So overall, we're looking pretty good heading into WrestleMania, I think. Now, it depends on what the power-up situation is going to look like, but we'll see what happens. Alrighty, here we go. 47,000. Look at that. Oh, my lord. Look at us. Okay, 49,000 for NXT. That's not bad. We're keeping up. 58 for Monday Night Raw. Not fantastic, but... Okay, so we basically kept up with everyone, because ECW got up to 47,000 too, so not too bad. Alrighty. Oh! We got another Hall of Fame trophy! Tier 1, earned $2 million in lifetime revenue. It's hilarious because we finally just upgraded an arena, and then we got downgraded back to the frickin', like, high school arena. Love that for us. Cool, we got the health spa. Beautiful. Look at us. We are back on top. We've got 2 out of 15 trophies. WrestleMania! Week 25! Oh, come on! Okay, that's fine. Doing great. I'm doing great. That's fantastic. Okay, you're welcome. That's fine. Well, okay, well this is all happening. Well, there goes our plans. But with WrestleMania, what's kind of nice is that we have 2 spots over here, and then we have to put people in with the other 2 spots. So we got a backstage brawl, our mid-card spots, and then the Fatal 4-Way at the end. Oh, no. Okay, so let's go ahead before we do anything else. Let's go ahead and get the WrestleMania arena. And then let's see what's going on over here. Who leveled up? Am I missing something? Oh, Tatum Paxley leveled up. Okay, that's cool. Let's give her the popularity boost. I think that's fine. But I think we got enough to work with potentially for the mid-card, so I'm just going to set this up because, well, that makes sense. We could still do Dom and CM Punk. I think that makes sense. Obviously, LA Knight's not on the show, so that kind of stinks, but it is what it is. We could do Roxanne and Stephanie. Maybe we combine that with, like, maybe Natalya and Piper. I don't know. But we definitely need to pencil this one in. Let's put in Punk, Dom for the world title. We'll do a Falls Count Anywhere match for this one, because why not? That's a specialty. Actually, let's flip this around, because that just makes sense. Okay, so we'll put that as, like, our main event mid-card, and then... Man, okay, so let's see what goes. Let's see what's going over here. Okay, do we do the tag titles? Because that could be fun. Or do we put, like... Well, we need a gauntlet match, right? I think that's what we needed. So, maybe we do Natalya. Well, let's put Natalya at the very end, I think. And then Piper, I mean, we would have to get one of these two off the gauntlet match, but I mean, they also have feud, so it's a bit of a gamble if we add in these two, but I think it makes sense, right? Right? I feel like this makes sense. Or what we could do is toss in Chelsea into the mix to make things a little bit more interesting. And then we'll put either Roxanne or Stephanie in that matchup, and then we could put somebody else in there too. I don't know. Well, I mean, Bailey's the champion, so, I mean, the only other one that would make some sense would be Lash, or, yeah, pretty much either Roxanne or Lash, maybe? No, definitely Lash or Stephanie. So I think that makes sense. Let's put Stephanie Vicaire over here, possibly. Or, yeah, let's do that. Again, really weird matchup over here, but I think it makes sense. And then over here in the opener, we could toss in Roxanne. Make sure that she's on the show. And then for the men's match, for the TLC match, this is where things get a little interesting. I think we could probably just toss in AJ Styles over here because I think that makes the most sense. At least on paper anyway. Anybody got a TLC specialty? I don't think so. Yeah, let's go ahead and just toss in AJ Styles. I think that makes sense. It would also make some sense to maybe put him in here and just have this be like a triple threat match possibly. But I think like champion versus champion just makes a lot of sense over here. And I think this makes sense too, again, like with Natalya and needing to have the gauntlet match, I think that also makes sense. We could do the Seth Rollins promo switcheroo as well. Again, a bit of a gamble, I think, but it makes sense. But let's go ahead and do the role change over here. No. Yeah, role change. There we go. Role change for Seth. And then to keep things moving along, how did he get a 5? Okay, he got a 5 overall on the microphone. That's interesting. In the meantime, we could do... Yeah, we could have him on the card and just have him call out Austin Theory. So, yeah, I think this is probably going to be our card. It's not the most exciting thing, but it's what we got to work with, because we were originally going to do, like, ideally LA Knight and AJ Styles, but I think this kind of works out just a scotch better. I don't know. We have AJ in the main event, so, I mean, I think that's a pretty good trade-off, right? Roxanne's in the opening match. We have, we have Roxanne in the opening match with the backstage brawl. So I think that makes some sense. Unless if we have somebody else that, like, has that as their specialty, but I don't think we do. Yeah, we don't have anybody where it's, like, their specialty, so that makes sense. Okay, nope, wrong one. We have the gauntlet match with Chelsea and Piper and Stephanie and Natalya. I think that makes sense because, like, those three have just been feuding with each other for, like, the tag team titles for, like, the longest time, pretty much. And Natalya's just been holding down the fort. We also have Dom and CM Punk. And they're going to be in the Falls Count Anywhere match. I think this makes sense here with the promo situation. That way we kind of check off all the boxes. And then I think let's go ahead and... yeah, I don't know. I think this all makes sense, though. I could be totally wrong. But I think this is going to add up. I know not ideal to have your tag team champions kind of fighting each other, but this is what we're working with, just to check off all the boxes. So let me know what you think about this card. We're going to watch all 4 matches probably, because the backstage brawls tend to go pretty quickly, I feel like. But the hope is that we can watch all 4 matches. So if it's a 2-parter, it's a 2-parter. It is what it is. Either way around, let me know what you thought about this episode of MyGM down in the comments down below. Leave a like, leave a comment, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button so that your notifications are on here and that sort of thing. I gotta thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I will see you all in the next one.